What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Okay, so we've got word. ICE is about to be doing something they should have been doing a very long time ago. Check this out, y'all. ICE head says agency to crack down on American companies hiring unauthorized workers. Now, okay, so we know what that means, right? But we also need to look at the corporate press manipulation on this, y'all. For real, unauthorized workers. Now, when I first saw that headline, I said, unauthorized workers? What the hell is that supposed to mean? Because you know what, an unauthorized worker, the very first thing that popped into my head when I thought about that was like, what, just some random guy, just some random Joe Schmo walks in off the street and starts bagging groceries at the local Kroger or something? It's like, what do you mean unauthorized worker? Of course, I know they're talking about criminal aliens, but like they can't even call them undocumented people anymore. It's like unauthorized workers. Are you freaking kidding me here? Unauthorized workers. But good. Crack down on these people. Crack down on these companies. Start finding these companies hundreds of thousands of dollars for every single criminal alien they hire. That'll disincentivize. Because, like, folks, Democrats, we talk about this all the time. They're advocating for a serf class in this country. Second-class citizens that don't get all the same benefits. They don't get the rights that you and I get. They don't pay taxes, a lot of these people, because they work under the table. I mean, that right there should be investigated and criminally prosecuted because, I mean, they're evading taxes. That's a crime right there. So it's not only those things, but once again, they don't get the same work benefits. They don't get paid vacation. They don't get paid time off. They don't get none of those things, folks. So it's like they want second-class citizens. They can't vote. They don't have the same civil rights that you and I get because they're not supposed to be in the country. I mean, there's a whole list of things that we could go over all day long as to why. And Democrats advocate for this. They'll sit there and tell you, oh, we don't want illegal immigrants, but they don't ever say unauthorized workers, or they don't ever mention when they speak about, they just say migrants, and that's it. So that would lead me to believe that they're advocating for criminal aliens, for illegal migration, for people to come into the country unauthorized and start working at places. It's nonsense, y'all. It really, really is. But let's get into this. U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement Acting Director Todd Lyons said in an interview Sunday that his agency will crack down on American companies hiring unauthorized workers. I can guarantee you that he did not call these people unauthorized workers. I can guarantee you that. Not only are we focused on those individuals that are, working here illegally, we're focused on those American companies that are actually exploiting these laborers, Lyons said on CBS's Face the Nation. These people that came here for a better life, either, forced labor, child trafficking, a lot of these worksite cases just isn't a victimless crime of someone here working illegally, he added. And that's why we're going there with these criminal warrants to focus on these American businesses that are trying to make an extra dollar on the backs of these people that came here for a better life. That is right, folks. And, a lot of the times Democrats, what they'll advocate for is, oh, well, you don't want to go out there and pick strawberries or clean toilets or do any of these things. Like, so these are the people that'll do the work that Americans won't do. That's a lie, folks. That is an outright lie. Now, where they're getting that from is, yes, you cannot, I can guarantee you will not get an American citizen to go and do the job of an illegal alien for the same wages, the same benefits, the same everything. Why? Because it's less pay, no benefits at all. You get no health insurance, none of those things. So of course they're not going to do that for those wages and for those benefits. Of course not. But you give them a decent wage and benefits, I can guarantee you have people lined up to go pick strawberries if they're paid well enough. Like, once again, just ask yourself this. What would it take for you to get out into a field to go and pick blueberries for a living? $20 an hour? $30 an hour? What would it be? And there you go. There's your answer to that. But the lie It's just sophistry is all it is. To say, oh, American citizens won't do these jobs. No, let's be honest, they won't do them for slave wages, essentially. Of course. It's fascinating. So yes, go after these businesses because they're being exploited, folks. Like I said, this is what Democrats, this is the end result. They won't get out there and say this, but this is what happens when you implement policy based on compassion and not logic. Oh, we feel bad. They just want a better life, right? Well, no, I'm sorry. That's not what it is. You don't come here for a better life and undermine the process by which you could come here legally and break our laws. That's not wanting a better life. That is trying to fly under the radar. Trying to get, trying to be exploited, essentially. You say, well, you think these people actually want to be exploited? Well, maybe that's a better situation. Living here illegally in the country is a better situation than their situation back in their home country. That's a possibility, folks. I'm not going to rule that out. But that is not wanting a better life, right? The better life option would be to go to the embassy in your home country and get some sort of work visa, whatever it may be, to get yourself into the country legally, right? It's not like citizenship. Don't let Democrats fool you. This is not a process that takes years like citizenship does. You can go and get a visa. They do a background check. You can get it the next day. Maybe take a week at the most. That's it, folks. They're not going to take that long. I'm sorry. Don't let the Democrats lie to you on that one. In the first few months of his second term, President Trump and his administration have heavily cracked down on immigration, drawing criticism from Democrats and advocates. Oh, and you're going to hear that criticism because the corporate press will definitely let you know the criticism. Oh, they won't give you the opposite opinion, but they will let you know the criticism. On Sunday, Los Angeles Mayor Karen Bass criticized the Trump administration's reasoning for allowing ICE officers to wear masks as a way to protect themselves and their families from retaliation. Well, first of all, let me just tell you that the masked men are not from Los Angeles, and so how their families could be retaliated against, Bass said on Face the Nation. Like, that's a ridiculous misnomer right there, if you ask me. Just because they're not from Los Angeles means that nobody will commit violence against them? They won't be targeted by far leftists? That's absurd. That is a ridiculously silly statement. We'll just say it that way. Silly. She's being very silly. And then what is it to say to local law enforcement, the Los Angeles Police Department, none of whom are ever masked, who always identify themselves and even hand someone a business card? So that makes absolutely no sense at all, she added. No, because police, I do believe there are laws that require police, or at least police department policy, right? ICE doesn't have that policy, and there is no law that says ICE must identify themselves, right? I'm almost certain that certain cities and states require the police officers to identify themselves because they are just regular law enforcement. This is not just regular law enforcement. This is federal immigration and customs enforcement. It's very, very different. Very, very different. But Karen Bass is not very, very smart, if you ask me. I've got a clip to show you guys. We're going to run that right quick.
Just tell me who you think should be deported. Is it just people who've been convicted of crimes? You have, almost 1 million undocumented workers in Los Angeles. What should happen to those people?
Because we are a city of immigrants, we have entire sectors of our economy that are dependent on immigrant labor. We have to get the fire areas rebuilt. We're not going to get our city rebuilt without immigrant labor. And it's not just the deportation. It's the fear that sets in when raids occur, when people are snatched off the street. And I know you are aware that even people who are here legally, even people who are U.S. citizens have been detained. Immigrants who have their papers and were showing up for their annual immigration appointment were detained when they showed up doing exactly what they were supposed to be doing.
So they should not be deported.
I don't think
They
so.
should stay.
Well, this is what
A million undocumented.
No, let me just tell you. What I think we need is comprehensive immigration reform. I served in Congress for 12 years.
And didn't get it.
And didn't get it. And why didn't we get it? I mean, after I left, there was an immigration reform bill that had bipartisan support. This was during the campaign. The president decided he didn't want to have it happen because he didn't want immigration reform to happen where he didn't take credit.
Go back to Joe Biden again, okay?
Okay.
There,
Well, go
there
back
was
further than
there
Joe
was
Biden.
hundreds of thousands of people crossing that border.
Right.
When you look at that border today, is there anything good you think the administration has done in these 6 months at the border?
Well, he praised on the administration for the first 6 months in Los Angeles with the fires. If you ask me, is there anything that they have done good in terms of immigration? I don't know. I don't think so. I think that the viewpoint has been punitive, has been let's make it as miserable as possible so that these people don't come.
You know, her career as a politician should be over after that, to be honest with you. How do you advocate for criminal aliens? Oh, we're dependent. We must have unauthorized workers to rebuild after the fires. What are you talking about, lady? If your city cannot survive without people in it that are not supposed to be here, I'm sorry, let it crumble. That's what I have to say about that. I'm sick and tired of these people saying, oh, we need comprehensive immigration reform. No, we don't. We absolutely do not. Our immigration system works just fine. It's perfect the way it is. Could it be expanded a little bit? That's not reform, folks. That's just expansion. Could we use some more judges? Could we use some more administrative staff to process paperwork? Yes, 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 and yes. All of the above. We could expand it a little bit. Yeah, could we have some assistance? There's plenty of NGOs out there that get millions of dollars a year from government grants to subsidize them helping criminal aliens. That is right. You pay for that, folks. And hey, they could help these people settle down in some far-flung area of the United States, wherever it may be, wherever you want these people to go. Right? That's what needs to happen. We don't need no comprehensive immigration reform. That's the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard in my entire life. But what's fascinating is you hear it all the time. Democratic politicians, Republican politicians, they all say that constantly. We need comprehensive immigration reform. Do we? Have you looked at the immigration laws that are on the books? Have you looked at the immigration system that we have and how it works? Obviously not, because if you would have, you would see that it works exactly as intended. There's nothing wrong with it. Is it backed up? That's why I say, should it be expanded? Yes. Yeah, we could expand it a little bit. Don't know if that's necessary because, once again, folks, it's working and designed in a specific way to only allow X amount of people to come in at one time because people need time to assimilate into a population. Right? You cannot have these enclaves of multiculturalism and diversity. You can't have that. It just doesn't work. Europe has proven that outright. You've got roving mobs in the UK. You've got roving mobs of abuse gangs, we'll put it that way, running around abusing children. You want that in the United States, like some weird pedo Mad Max type of thing going around? No, I'm sorry. We're not going to have all that in the United States, especially not under Donald Trump. This lady should, asked if she would get rid of the criminals. Did you hear that response? Yeah, a long, windy response to get to no, I don't think so. Career should be over after that, y'all. It is absurd what these people are advocating for. Oh, we need slave labor. We must have we have an entire sector of our economy dependent on slave labor. That's what she just said. Her career should be done after this. But no, of course not, because the average everyday viewer is going to see that and be like, we do need comprehensive immigration reform, don't we? No, folks, we abso-freaking-lutely do not. Like I said, could it be expanded a little bit? Yeah, could. Is it necessary? No, abso-freaking-lutely not. And now, if you want to talk about the visa program, that type of expansion, yes, because this entire cheap labor force that we have in the United States at least needs to be here legally. And I have no problem with that. Look, I understand the plight of some of these farm owners, right? They need some of these workers to work for cheap dollars. Hey, look, I get that. But at the same time, these people must be in the country legally. They need to have work visas, for crying out loud, and they need to be paying their taxes. And you, as the farm owner, need to pay them a decent wage. I'm sorry. That is just the way this country works. This is one major component as to why we lost our manufacturing base, is because of wages. We have good workers in this country, or we should at least, for the wages that we get paid for. It's all fascinating. And there's many arguments. We could go back and forth all day long. I could make the argument in the inverse too, but I don't like to, because I don't believe it, folks. I really don't. I don't think that these indentured servants are necessary. This cheap labor force is necessary. I really don't think it is. I think we can get away with paying these people a decent wage so they can pay their taxes, pay into Medicare and Medicaid and Social Security, get all the benefits that you and I get, and still be here legally and still do the same damn job, and these companies still make profits. I think that can all work out, right? You can't tell me that it can't. We can't survive without cheap slave labor, essentially. BS. If that is the case, then you shouldn't be a company at all. I'm sorry. You should not have to rely on slave labor just to get by. That's BS. You should not be able to get by then. Your company should go belly up. And that's it. But I think I've rambled on for long enough on this one, y'all. I want y'all to let me know what y'all think about all of this down in the comment section, because it's quite a fascinating topic. I tend to talk about it a whole lot, and I get kind of animated because, especially when Joe Biden was president, man, I would talk about immigrant, blah, 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 blah. Joe Biden's destroying the country. He is, or he was. He's not no more. He's just asleep right now, I guess. But y'all let me know what y'all think. That's all I got. I want to thank everybody for watching. Y'all don't forget to smash that like button. Thought you said bet you thought I was going to say something different, didn't you? Y'all smash that like button for me. Subscribe if you're new around here. Share this video at least one place. That's all I ask. Y'all try to have a good day. Stay legitical. Peace.